I've realized this about myself over the many years we've been doing S3 and I've been messing with cars, is like, I do have a gambling problem. It's not necessarily blackjack or Vegas or any of that stuff, like a typical gambling problem. What I tend to gamble on is $500 cars that, because of the magazine or whatever, like, they find their way into my life. They're like little puppies. I gotta save them all. I end up buying these cars. Usually, you know, nothing really ever happens. I keep them for a while and I sell them, but this is the newest one. It's a 92 BMW 525, but it has a manual transmission. Now, I got it from Don Napier, who is one of the hosts of Import Alliance. So, you know, when you're looking in that like $1,500 and less price range, a lot of times you deal with a lot of misinformation, you know, on the part of the seller, or people just not knowing or whatever. I bought it from Don, so he's a friend. He does have a little bit of knowledge about what was wrong with this car, being that it has some running warm issues. Not necessarily overheating, but more running warm. So he got it. He hasn't driven it in 6 years. That's about all he knew. He told me what he knows. I did buy it sight unseen, so I told him not to send me a picture of the car. All I knew was that it was black. So that kind of, it made it fun, you know? But anyway, you know, I pulled the little slot machine lever, got the car up in Nashville, brought it back home, and I'm hoping it's not a head gasket. If it's not a head gasket, I win the slot machine. If it is a head gasket, we'll deal with it, we'll fix it, or we'll motor swap it or something like that. What I did was I went to Pelican Parts, which is an online store. They do a lot of Porsche and BMW stuff. I have a 79 911 SC, so I've used them for that before. And you know, where they really excel compared to like an Amazon, you might, actually I don't think you do, but you might save a few dollars on an Amazon or something like that. But you're left to your own devices to screw up your order or to leave things out or whatever. With Pelican Parts, it's pretty awesome because they have like a super kit for the cooling system. So it's got everything you need and the stuff you forgot about, down to the gasket sealant, you know, and the radiator cap. So what this super kit comes with, the essentials, is it comes with a water pump. And on this particular model of car, the OEM water pumps had a plastic impeller, so they tend to disintegrate over time. So even if the water pump's working, it's not actually working because it can't flow the coolant. It comes with a fan clutch, it comes with your thermostat, it comes with your upper lower radiator hoses, and like the red line water wetter, everything you need to kind of do the job and do it right. You know, Pelican's already kind of gone through and figured out what that is. So I think that kit's just a little bit over 200 bucks. Hopefully it was money well spent. I ordered it before I even got the car. So it's here, and we're about to kind of park slap this thing and see if we can't fix it. The oil was milky. That's usually not a good sign. That's a sign of a head gasket. But the car had been sitting for 6 years, so the hope was that it was condensation. The car, it's not smoking, so we changed the oil, put new oil in it, started up, ran it for 15-20 minutes, and it's not smoking. It is running warm, it's not running hot, and after we turned it off, upper radiator hose was hot to the touch, lower radiator hose was pretty cool to the touch. So that could be a stuck thermostat, you know, it really could be anything. That's why we got that kit from Pelican. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I'm gonna start putting this stuff on, and hopefully, if one of these things fixes the problem, you know, I won the little game and we got a running BMW. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I can't remember, but part of the fun in this project is that I'm not doing a whole lot of online searching and going down that rabbit hole and everything. Because when you start looking at things like wheel fitments and specs and what did you do here and what did you, it like tunnel visions you, right? And so because I'm new to BMWs, I'm purposely kind of, I want to take it back to like when I was a kid before we had Facebook and the forums and stuff, and you just had to figure stuff out, and maybe you would meet people meet people along the way that would teach you stuff. So I met somebody along the way, Tim Neely from Tim's Enthusiast Garage, and I don't even know totally what he's talking about, but he said on this model BMW, some model BMWs, radiators can leak somewhere up around the upper radiator hose. So just taking a look to make sure there's no cracks or anything that would allow air into the system, which would allow it to run warm and not necessarily overheat. Apparently that's enough of a problem to where they do make a solution, like a fix kit for it. So I'm just gonna go through and try and see what I see, you know? These right here are some specialty BMW fan clutch removal tools. It was already loose. So then what?
Well, you gotta unscrew it all the way off.
It just, I mean, it's loosing it. It's running down it.
No.
Ta-da! Ha-ha! It's alright. I'm not doing anything. You don't watch us for our professionalism.
Oh, that's good.
You watch us for like the
entertainment.
just the sheer drama and so on this clip, we just found out you kind of, first of all, there's just a German arrow pointing forward, which means nothing. But if you take it in there, push down a little bit, and then crank that like that, the radiator will go forward, and then theoretically, oh yeah, look at that, look! You pull it out! Alright. It's typical, like while we're here, the belts are crap. So while we got all this part, we're just going to change the belts. All you really got to do is pull that loosens tension, and then theoretically, I don't know if y'all can see this, but then you can take the belt off. Just trying to pull this water pump, or I mean thermostat housing off.
This is in the coolant. Okay,
got it! Okay, so now you have the thermostat housing removed, and we went and cleaned the old gasket material off. About to pop the new one in there. So right now, I am removing the water pump. Kind of curious to see what this is going to look like, because I'm really hoping that the problem was the impeller just being eaten up inside of here. I had to fight with that a bit with 6 screwdrivers and a few little points, but it came out. I would say it does not look bad. I mean, could be bad, but that impeller looks really good. Alright, so we got the water pump out. This is the factory one. This is the aftermarket one from Pelican Parts. This one looks way better than I was hoping it was going to be. I was hoping that this was going to be all corroded and be a clear, like, here was the problem. But it's not that way. So we did take the thermostat out and put it in some boiling water, and it was working, but it was kind of not working well. It was sticky. So, you know, being optimistic, maybe that's part of the problem, but so far we haven't found anything that's clear cut. That was it, but we'll keep moving forward. Just another update. After we found out that the water pumps were virtually the same and the original one didn't look bad, we put the original water pump back in just for a minute to seal up the system, stuck a garden hose in the basically where the upper radiator hose goes, and just let it run for a while and flushed everything. Everything looks good. So now I'm clinging on to the hope that maybe there was some air in the system, giant bubble or something like that, and just continuing to go forward with all the new parts that we got anyway, and going to see if maybe, you know, some of these little things start to chip away at the problem. Alright, so we put the new belts back on. That took all of seriously about 30 seconds. And then the radiator is pretty cool because it just kind of slots down in there, and then you just kind of push on these and they clip right in. Pelican sent a new cap just in case. You know, sometimes those things can leak, or bleed off pressure, I guess, or let air in. So now what we're gonna do is put the hoses back on and pray to the car gods that we somehow find some sort of magic fix here. Okay. Alright, so last new piece is the fan clutch. Came with the kit. So, put that thing on. Alright, so we thought we had everything buttoned up, and I decided to put a little bit of water in there before the coolant. And it's a good thing I did, because there's that one extra little heater hose that runs in the radiator that I forgot to tighten. Found out when water started dripping on my feet, but I tightened it now and we should be good. Alright, I'm kind of cautiously optimistic right now. There's like a sequence, I'll explain it in a second. That's one thing that I did look up on YouTube about how to put coolant in here and vent it, you know, and get basically burp the bubbles out of it. So we've had the car idling for about 10 minutes in the garage, and basically there's basically a little what looks like a Phillips head screwdriver kind of plug thing that's right next to the radiator cap, and what you do is you vent that, right, and so it just kind of burps little bubbles and little bubbles and little bubbles, and it was doing it a lot, and now it's doing it less and less and less, and we're just letting it idle, but it's holding right where it should right now. Don't know what it'll do if you put a load on it, you know, you actually run some torque through it or whatever, but I don't know. It's looking like it might be okay. Just went and drove it, kind of put it through a series of little tests, you know, under a load, up a hill, stuff like that. It's acting perfect. It's remarkable. You know, like it seems to be. I haven't been far from home, but it seems to be doing great. But let me tell you, if you hadn't figured it out yet, like I'm not a pro mechanic. This is not what I do. You know, I don't know BMWs at all. The only way I know to work on cars is just because I've been doing it, but like I don't do it for a living. I'm not good at these little hacks or whatever. I'm just a regular dude that likes cars, that just kind of patiently and methodically went to work on this thing, and I think combined with a little bit of, you know, being smart in what parts we bought and who we bought it from Pelican. And by the way, I know it sounds like Pelican is like a sponsor of ours or that they sent the parts for free. It wasn't like that. I went online and I bought them just like you would. Let me know what you think I ought to do with this car, because I kind of bought it without a plan. I really want to cut the roof off. Tell me whether you think that's the best idea or the worst idea. But I think the concept of like a 4-door convertible BMW black low, I think that's cool. But I don't know, it's only been a couple days, I'm already getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I don't know. Want to boost it, maybe? Let me know what you guys think about that. From what I hear, 2.5s love boost, and I love boost, so that could be a fun way to blow this thing up. I don't know, man. It's just kind of, you know, it's a fun $500 project I bought from a buddy, and we'll see where it goes. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe or whatever these guys say at the end of their videos, or subscribe to the magazine. That would be radical. So yeah, thank you guys.